Hello, dear students. Now we are going to speak about titles and abstracts in academic or research articles. So, first of all, try to answer the following questions. The first one, when are you likely to write an abstract for an article? Before you write your article, after you have written it, or at the same time you write it, and why? And the second one, how long is an abstract in your field of research? What does its length depend on? And the third one, which abstracts do you usually write? Informative, so they give the main results, or indicative, they only indicate what kind of research has been conducted? Please try to answer the following questions. So now read text 1. Now I'll show you text 1. So read text 1, and which of the kinds of the information below does it include? First of all, look at this information. You should pay attention. So 7 points. The first one, information about the specific place where the research was conducted. You should pay attention whether it's mentioned in the text or no. The second one, the number of surveys carried out. The third one, any negative results of the research project. The fourth one, a definition of the key term. And the fifth one, information about different target groups. The sixth one, the need for further research. And the last one, the practical implications of results. Now look at the text. So reflection is a way of evaluating best practice and challenging existing norms, while at the same time considering our personal values and assumptions in our personal and professional lives. However, many health practitioners may lack the skills to do this effectively. Through participation in a series of 3 workshops, practitioners in the radiation medicine program at Princess Margaret Hospital have learned and acquired new skills in order to encourage reflection and reflective practice in themselves and their colleagues, as well as with their students. A pre- and post-course survey was used so that we could ascertain their level of knowledge of reflection and reflective practice. An additional survey at 3 months assessed the frequency of use and ongoing comfort level with reflective practice. Results of the evaluation indicate that the participants' knowledge of reflective practice has improved their understanding of reflection in clinical practice. They recognize the importance of reflection and anticipate increasing their use of reflection in practice. As well, participants have been able to sustain the positive momentum 3 months after the course was delivered. So this is example or model abstract for the topic reflection. Now, let's check the answers. So which of the kinds of information below does this abstract include? So first of all, it includes the first one, information about the specific place where the research was conducted. It was mentioned. The second one, the number of surveys carried out. It's also mentioned. So the abstract includes it. The third one is not mentioned here. Any negative results of the research project are not mentioned. The fourth one, a definition of the key term is also mentioned. Information about different target groups is also mentioned. So, but the need for further research is not mentioned in the abstract. And the last one, the practical implications of results were also mentioned in the given abstract. So, now the next task is identifying the sentences from 1 to 8 in text 1 in activity 2 that correspond to the elements of an abstract from A to E below. So which element is not included in text 1, first of all. So pay attention. So these are 5 elements of a good abstract. First of all, A1 is background. There should be background information about the research. The second one, purpose of the study. The third one, methodology of the study. The fourth one, results. And the last one, conclusion or recommendation. So as we saw, there are 8 sentences, and let's match the sentences with the elements of an abstract. So background is included in the first and second sentence of the text. So purpose of the study is in the third sentence of the text. Methodology of the study is in the fourth and fifth sentence of the text. So results are in 6th, 7th, and 8th sentences of the text. But unfortunately, conclusion or recommendation is not included in this abstract. Now let's move to text 2. Read text 2 and fill in the gaps with a suitable verb in the appropriate form. So let's look at text 2, new demonstration. So you should fill in the gaps with the appropriate verbs. Grazing or the uncontrolled repetitive eating of small amounts of food is being recognized increasingly as an important eating behavior associated with obesity. In spite of the need for a better understanding of this eating behavior for improved obesity treatment, currently there is no empirically validated measure to assess grazing. Therefore, to contribute to a better understanding of this relatively understudied eating pattern, a new self-report questionnaire of grazing was developed in this study. Questionnaire items were designed to reflect previous empirical descriptions of grazing. A group of 248 university students completed the grazing questionnaire. Other measures of eating-related behaviors and cognitions and negative emotion. 62 participants completed the grazing questionnaire a second time to calculate its temporal stability. Exploratory factor analysis revealed a clear two-factor solution for the questionnaire reflecting repetitive eating behavior and a perception of loss of control. Scores on the grazing questionnaire were positively associated with other measures of disordered eating, especially with binge eating. Initial psychometric properties of the new questionnaire are promising. So, and future research needs to examine the prevalence of this eating behavior in more diverse populations, including those with binge eating disorder and obesity. So the next. Sorry. So now about stating the purpose. In academic writing, research aims and objectives are commonly expressed with the help of infinitive phrases or clauses. So, and we usually express our aims and objectives in abstract of the article. So different phrases and expressions are used to express purposes and objectives. The aim of the study is, the aim of the study was to determine, the aim of the study was to examine or to evaluate, to measure, to determine, to compare. In order to identify, to analyze, to understand, the experiment was conducted in order to find out something. The survey was carried out so that we could discover something, etc. So now in the next activity, you will correct the mistakes in the sentences. Use the language support box to help you. So you will use this language support box to correct the mistakes in exercise 7. So let's check. 4 identifies this metabolic product of yeast glucose extracts were tested for the ability to stimulate acid secretion and gastrin release. So not 4 identify, but 2 identify. The infinitive should be used here. We tested children in pairs so that each child in the pair not to observe, but could observe should be used here, could observe visual illusions from different angles. Laboratory experiments were carried out, not for us identifying, it's wrong, to identify the correlation between the 2 variables. So in fourth one, in order that we can investigate is not correct. In order to investigate or just to investigate the effect of coffee consumption on hip fracture risk, a meta-analysis was conducted. The purpose of this paper is to propose a model for, not is proposing, is to propose a model for the development of comprehensive assessments of older people and their carers. To control these factors, or in order to control these factors, not for controlling these factors, because in expressing the purpose, usually not gerund but infinitive is used, these factors and investigating the relationship between risk and memory further. Most of the remaining studies reported in this study used simulated driving in a laboratory setting. So in the next activity, we are going to match article titles from 1 to 5 with the types of title, from A to E. More than one match may be possible. So there are 5 titles here: mentoring graduate students in teaching the FCCIC model. The second one, encouraging reflection, do professional development workshop, increase the skill level and use of reflection in practice. The third one, creativity, a review and concept analysis. The fourth one, shifting the goalposts, a longitudinal mixed method study of the health of long-term incapacity benefit recipients. The fifth one, threats to the running water ecosystems of the world. Now we will match these titles with the types of the titles. There are different types of the titles of the articles. The first one are titles that highlight a specific theme or focus following a general heading. The second one, titles that emphasize the methodology used in the research. Titles that use rhetorical techniques like alliteration, allusion, metaphor. Titles that contain a question. And titles that announce the general topic. So A's corresponds to the first title, titles that highlight a specific theme or focus following a general heading, because so the theme is focused on here, mentoring graduate students in teaching. So the FCCIC model. So, and title B corresponds to the third one, creativity, review, and concept analysis. Titles that emphasize the methodology used in the research. So C corresponds to the fourth one, titles that use rhetorical techniques, shifting the goalposts, longitudinal mixed methods study of the health of long-term incapacity benefit recipients. So different rhetorical techniques are used here. Title D corresponds to the second title, titles that contain a question. So do professional development workshops increase the skill level and use of reflection in practice? Here, the title uses a question. And title E corresponds to the fifth one, titles that announce the general topic, threats to the running water ecosystems of the world. So now we will discuss what might be written in the articles under titles. So from 1 to 4, use the example to help you and language support box. So in language support box, you may see how possibility is expressed in research writing. Like this article may focus on the purpose of the study might be, in the introduction, I might find the authors probably used these methods. For example, the conclusions are likely to demonstrate that perhaps, maybe, so, etc. So, higher education in later life. What is the point? The first article. Teaching more by lecturing less. The second article. Mind the gap. Are students prepared for higher education? The third title. Do expectations meet reality? A survey of changes in first-year student opinion. So now please think about an article you could write for an international journal. Write 3 or 4 titles of different types for it. Refer to activity 8 for support. After it, you may work in pairs or individually, but it's better to work with your partner and read your partner's titles, identify their types, and choose the best one. Use the criteria for conference titles in activity 10 on page 17, please. So which also apply to article titles. And your task will be to write a draft of your abstract in 100 or 120 words. You can use the phrases below as support. The present study investigates. We expected that the method we applied involved. The results obtained show that the study provides strong evidence that, or evidence that, etc. These expressions may be used in your abstract. So, and the next task for you is finding 3 articles from your field of study on the internet and analyze the article titles and complete the table. So while analyzing the titles of your articles, you should answer the following questions. How many words are used in the title, first of all? Is the title a noun phrase, a sentence, or a question? Are nouns, adjectives, and verbs capitalized? Are the keywords used in the title? Is it clear from the title what the article is about? Do you find the title appealing? So you will do these tasks, and on the next lesson, we will check your home task. Now, that's all about titles and abstracts. See you later. Goodbye. Thank you for your attention.